Okay, so good morning again. I want to welcome everybody and thank everybody for coming on, showing the Rebbetzin Hakaras Hatov for everything she does. I'm going to send what the Rebbetzin sends me, which is a small little bit of who she really is. I just have to say personally for the Nishmas group and personally for me, Rebbetzin Slovie Jungreiss Wolff never says no, is always there to help in every single way that she can for Am Yisrael. And she is, as I always say, unbelievable malchut. So I want to thank her again for always doing this, always sharing her soul and her heart and her Torah with us in the most beautiful, dignified, and loving and kind way. Slovie Jungreiss Wolff, who is an author, teacher, and speaks all over the world. She carries on the work of her mother, Rebbetzin Esther Jungreiss, she really does, and wrote the parenting handbook, Raising a Child with Soul. So I am very, very privileged to introduce you to Rebbetzin Slovie Jungreiss Wolff's Plug into the Power of Elul. Thank you, Rebbetzin.
Thank you, Nomi. You always give such beautiful words, and to be part of this group is a tremendous zechus and privilege for me, as I see everybody's either faces or squares on this Zoom. It's really unbelievable to see all of you come together, and these are the faces and voices of Geula. And thank you, Nomi, for spearheading all of this. What is a chus? Thank you. We are coming to Elul. We are in Elul, and how do we plug into the power of Elul? When I was a young girl, my father would tell me how in Europe, when he was growing up, and Elul would come, the chazan in the synagogue and shul would say, Rosh Chodesh Elul, and all of a sudden you would hear this gasp and this audible cry in the shul, and you felt the pachad. You felt the pachad. That's Elul. You felt the awesomeness. So what will be different for us this Elul than all the Eluls that passed? Sometimes we think to ourselves, here we go again. I said so many things last year and made so many promises, and I thought it would be so different. And here I am in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu again. And what do I have to say for myself? What do we say on Elul? So today I'd like us to come away with 3 points from the Parsha that will give us the strength and the koach to be able to tap into the power of Elul. Before we begin, I want to give us all a thought to think about, and that is that every single day, numerous times a day, we say the Bracha V'Asher Yatzar. Sometimes we think about it and sometimes we don't. It's a moment of gratitude to Hashem for our bodies and for our health and everything that works. But at the same time, at the end of the tefillah, we say, I efshar lehizkayim v'lamod lefanecha Hashem. Without you and without the gift of healing and allowing me to stand before you, efshar, it's impossible. It's impossible. Efshar, it's impossible to stand before you. Efshar. And what I'd like to say is that on Elul, if you look at the letters, efshar lehizkayim v'lamod lefanecha, and you take away the word efshar, it's possible. Lehiskayim v'lamod lefanecha, to exist and to stand before you. The Rashi Tevos, the first letters of those words, Efshar lehiskayim v'lamod lefanecha, is Elul. Put it as a mark in your siddur. Know for yourselves, when the month of Elul comes, there's no such thing as efshar. Nothing is impossible. Efshar, it's possible. Anything I daven for is possible. We start now all new, all fresh. Whatever happened last year is last year. And if you've had any pain and any suffering and moments of tears, then this is your korban before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And you say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, my pain, my aggravation, moments of suffering, moments of tears, I bring to you as kapara. Slicha, mechila, that's it. We start again. Efshar, everything is possible. Anything you daven for. And don't stop davening. And don't stop speaking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Last year is last year. So 3 points that I'd like us to bring into our lives and into our hearts so that we can come into this month of Elul and use this Eis Ratzon, this time that Hashem is just waiting to love us. How do we do it? I want to go into the parsha from yesterday. This is the parsha that gives us the clues. We just have to know how to decipher. And Moshe Rabbeinu was speaking to us in his last lecture as he says goodbye. What is Moshe Rabbeinu saying? Re'ei, see, anochi nosein lifnechem hayom. I'm giving before you today, bracha klala. I'm giving you bracha and klala. You have a choice. You're at a crossroads. Es habracha asher tishma'u el mitzvahs Hashem Elokechem asher anochi mitzavcha eschem hayom. The bracha is, the blessing is, if you're going to choose to listen to the words and the mitzvahs of Hashem, v'haklala and chas v'shalom, the klala, the curse, im lo tishma'u al mitzvahs Hashem. If you don't choose to listen to the mitzvahs of Hashem. And first of all, I'd like us to see that the word hayom is put into this pasuk. Moshe Rabbeinu was speaking to us today, 2022. Hayom, today. Whoever reads this pasuk, Moshe is saying, it's not just for thousands of years ago. Hayom. This is my last lecture that I'm giving you, but I'm giving it to you with my heart and soul, to all of Am Yisrael, for every generation to come. Hayom, look at it, read it, understand it, take it into your heart today, re'eh, and see, not hear, but see. Why? My question for all of us to think about as we come into Elul is this. What is bracha and what is klala? Because there are plenty of people who can say, but I chose to do mitzvahs in my life and I don't see bracha. And there are plenty of people that you could say they're dancing through life and they don't choose to follow the path of Torah and mitzvahs. So how do we explain this? Here's the first clue for plugging into the power of Elul. Rav Shamshon Rafal Hirsch asks us to understand and to see re'eh with depth and perception. What is it that living a life of bracha is? Does it mean that everything's easy? Does it mean that you never have a challenge? Does it mean that you never feel pain? Of course not. Bracha comes from the word barak, which is lightning, and berech, which is your knee. Like when you bend your knee and you say Baruch and you bend your knee, Ata Hashem. What's the connection? And here's a mind-blowing teaching and understanding for life. Barak, to be lightning, means that I am a conduit, just like lightning lights up the sky in the darkest of nights. You have the blackest of nights, and then all of a sudden, this boom and this flash of lightning comes, and there's heat, and there's electricity, and there's fire, and there's energy. Do you know what it means to live a life of bracha? Lo yichbe balayla neira, we say in Eshet Chayil. You know what it means to be an empowered woman? It means that in the darkest of nights, I do not allow my light to go out. My light shines in this world. No matter how dark and difficult the moment, no matter how difficult the day, my light shines. I am a conduit for heat, for electricity, for love, for fire, for passion. Everything that I do with a fire, with a bren. I light up the night. I don't let myself get down. I don't let people in my life get down. I keep the fire of emunah, of faith and bitachon, just going higher and higher and higher. I'm that conduit in this world. That's what it means to live a life of bracha. To know that when I look into your eyes shine because of my fire. I make a difference in this world. Barak, to be lightning. Berech, a knee. What does it mean? That when you have bracha in your life, you're like a knee. When your knee works, when your knee bends, when your knee goes, it means that you are able to move one step forward. Do you know when we say, Al tashlicheni le'eis zikna, Hashem, please don't cast me aside in my elder age. Zikna, what does it mean to be old? It's not years. It means that I'm not bendable. I'm not able to grow. I'm stuck. Al tashlicheni le'esikna. Hashem, don't allow me to be stuck in my years. Allow me to propel myself to go forward. To live a life of bracha means that I'm able to grow, that when I come to Elul now and I really think and I see myself, I look in the mirror and I see myself. I see, am I the same person that I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Do the same things get me upset? Do I lose it the same? Do I daven the same that I did a year ago or 5 years ago? Do I make a bracha the same? Do I have any more passion or connection to Hashem? Have I worked on myself? And I speak to myself right now, as I speak to all of us. This is the question of Elul. Because if I want to change, I have the power now, but I have to start with a vision. And that's why the pasuk says, Re'eh, I have to start with depth, perception. What is my perception of bracha in this world, in my life? Is it that just everything is easy and everything just comes to you and you never have a moment of challenge? Because then you never have a moment of growth. And now we can understand what a life of Klala is. Rav Hirsch says Klala comes from the word kal, easy, which means that one lives a life that is just surface. Kal, it's light living. Like light music, there's light living. And you have so much potential inside of you. There's so much magic. There's so much spiritual potential. There's so much strength. But instead of tapping in and sweating and having mesiras nefesh and a little bit of sacrifice, stretching, I look for a life of kal. Everything should be easy. I don't have to stretch. I don't have to sweat. And you know what? That's klala. That's a life of klala, because I may have a lot of stuff, but I'm running on empty. And a person can have 100 or 200 or 300 friends on social media or followers or likes. But in the middle of the night, there's no one to call, because it's not a life that has depth. It's not a life that has purpose and meaning and inspiration. Achat sha'alti me'es Hashem. We say every single day now, twice a day. We've just said it so beautifully. The Rebbetzin said it. I ask Hashem one thing and one thing only. Osa avakesh. For this I ask. What do you mean osa avakesh? Achat shalti. This is what I ask for. So why doesn't David HaMelech say this is what I ask for? Osa avakesh. I have to know what to be mevakesh. I have to be mevakesh in life. I have to be a spiritual seeker. But what am I seeking? What am I looking for? You know what I'm looking for, my friends? A life of bracha. And bracha means that I am barak. I am lightning in this world. Bracha means that I live, that my knees propel me forward. I'm not stuck. I'm not weak-kneed. I live with courage. I live with inspiration. And the Medrash tells us that this means in the most private moments of life, we find bracha. It's the way I get up in the morning. It's the way I go to sleep at night. It's the way I get dressed. It's the way I sit down at a table. It's the way I make a bracha. It's the way I welcome Shabbos. It's the way I speak to my mother. It's the way that I welcome a guest to my table. It's the way I welcome my family. I say hello in the morning. Those are moments that are so private. And that's when I create bracha. Re'eh, see it. Because if you see it and you change your perception of what bracha is, bracha, blessing in life, is not based on somebody else's life, somebody else's home, or somebody else's jewelry, or somebody else's children or husband or family. Bracha is based on my goal. What is my goal today for Elul? What is it? Where's the bracha in my life? And I'd like to share with you. Yes, Re'eh, I have seen this in my very own life, because I grew up with parents and grandparents and even a great-grandfather that I had the zechus to see and meet and have bracha from, who lived through the greatest Gehenim, who lived through Bergen-Belsen, who lived with terrible loss and suffering and pain more than anyone can ever imagine. And yet they lived a life of bracha, inspiration, fire, passion, going on with love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for family, for Am Yisrael, for Eretz Yisrael, for Yerushalayim, for every single Jew. That's how I grew up. And it would have been so easy for my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandfather to live a life of bitterness, of surface, of klala. But instead, they chose at a crossroads to say, you know what? We are going to choose to build again, to start again, to live with bracha in our life, to live with passion and love and inspiration. This becomes our choice in life. This is what it's all about. When my great-grandfather was about to leave this world, and I was there for a bracha, I was just a very little girl. I remember that my great-grandfather, whom we called Zayda Eins, because he was our first Zayda, we had two Zaydas. So my Zayda Eins asked, though he was very, very weak at the time, he asked to be carried to his Sfarim Shank, where he kept all of his Sfarim, all of his holy books. And he said that he wants to say goodbye to every single Sefer, because these Sfarim, these books, were his best friends throughout his life. And he kissed every single Sefer goodbye, every Chumash, every Tehillim, every Gemara, every Sefer. And that's how he left this world. I'll never forget the sight. Re'eh, I saw it with my own eyes. Re'eh, and this is what we can see with our own eyes, to know, to set a goal, to live a life with fire and with passion. So that's number one. Number two, this parsha says, Banim atem laHashem Elokechem. You are my children. And you know what? When I was preparing this parsha and I was looking at the parsha, this pasuk so stood out to me that I decided to write it in my siddur on the very first page. That every day before I daven, I see these words. Banim atem laHashem Elokechem. You are my children. And you know what that means? No matter where you've been, no matter what you've done, no matter the mistakes that you've made, it doesn't matter. Hashem loves us unconditionally. Think about it. If there is a child who did a terrible thing, who did a terrible mistake, or a lot of mistakes, if there's a child who disconnected, who wasn't in touch with the parent, who was away for a while, and in the middle of the night, there's a banging on the door, and a parent wakes up suddenly and hears this banging, and hears, Abba, Abba, open the door, Ima, open, Mommy, Daddy, please, it's me. Of course, every parent runs to the door with tears. You open the door, you give a hug, you give a kiss, you've come home. I've been waiting for you, waiting every day, every night for this sound, for this vision, for this sight. Elul is our time to bang on the door. Abba, it's me. And Abba opens the door. The king is in the field. The Shechina is here. It's Eitz Ratzon. It's a time of tremendous love. Ani ledodi v'dodi li, I'm for you, my beloved, and you, my beloved, are for me. So Elul gives us this power to bang on the door. Bang on the door, my dear friends. Bang on the door. Banim atem laHashem Elokechem. And never forget it. Hashem loves you. Hashem loves me. Hashem loves us. Hashem loves Am Yisrael unconditionally. We are a nation of miracles. That's number two. And number three, the pasuk says, Lo tisgodedu. Lo tisgodedu can mean, do not hurt yourself. Do not cut yourself if you're going through a terrible pain. Because you have to know that no matter what you go through in life, no matter how deep your pain, no matter the suffering and the challenge, Banim atem laHashem Elokechem, Hashem has your back. There is part of Hashem inside of you, inside of me, inside of every one of us. That makes us Hashem's children. And we cannot ever come to a place where we say, you know what, just forget it. I'm done. It's too much pain. It's too much suffering. And cut ourselves, not physically and not spiritually, because the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here for us. But Lo tisgodedu, Rav Hirsch says, means something even deeper. A gedud is an army unit. An aguda is a group. Lo tisgodedu. Do not make units and groups amongst yourselves. Do not separate yourselves. Do not make divisions amongst yourselves. You know what Gemara Rosh Hashanah teaches us? One of the greatest powers of Elul, of Rosh Hashanah, of Yom Kippur is, yes, I know, tefillah, teshuva, tzedakah, of course, but here's one for us to think about. It's zechus tefillah berabim, what we're doing right now. Tefillah berabim, to come together and daven together. But what does that mean? Does it mean that you go to the shul that has the most seats, and that is where you'll have the zechus rabim? It's not about the most seats. You know what it is to have zechus tefillah berabim? It means that when you go to shul Rosh Hashanah, when you go to shul Yom Kippur, you are able to put aside your pain, and you're able to take upon yourself the pain of another. Look around the room and daven for somebody who's waiting for a baby, somebody who's waiting for refuah shalema, somebody who's waiting for shalom bayis, somebody who's waiting for a shidduch, somebody who's waiting for parnasa, for financial success, somebody who needs to know that they're able to speak to their children and the children are able to speak to them. Daven for somebody else. Don't just be focused on yourself. That zechus is incredible. Hashem is waiting to see that we care for each other, because we're in this gullus because we couldn't care less. And when we come to tefillah berabim, we show Hashem that we could care more. It's not about living less, it's about living more. Living more means that we love each other more. And whether it is somebody that's sitting next to us right now, or somebody that is niggling to us in our mind and our heart, that we have to make a call to say, let bygones be bygones. Come into Rosh Hashanah, into Yom Kippur, into Aseres Yemei Teshuva, into these Yemei Ratzon with love, because the way that we treat each other and act with each other is the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu acts with us. So we want to create malachim on these Yemei Ratzon. And what kind of malachim? Not chas v'shalom, malachim, angels, who are malachi din, who come to judge, but malachim of rachamim. And how do you and I create malachim of rachamim? If we have rachamim on others, if we have compassion on others, if we don't judge others, if we give others the benefit of the doubt, then you know what happens? We create malachim for ourselves in shamayim that give us rachamim and benefit of the doubt. It's in our hands. So I'd like to close with this. Remember, my dear friends and women who will bring the geula, I have no doubt about it. The way that we say nishmas and daven and come together over here, re'eh, see, change your perception of what it is to live a life of bracha. Be barak, be a lightning in the sky. Lo yichba balayla nera. Never ever allow your light to go out. Shine your magic in this world. Live with passion. Every bracha, every tefillah, every Shabbos, every hello, every smile. Passion, inspiration. That's living a life of bracha, no matter what happens. Number 2, banim atem l'Hashem Elokeichem. Know that no matter where and what you've done, where Am Yisrael has been, Hashem loves us unconditionally. We just have to knock on the door. Lo tisgodedu. Let's not make separations and divisions. We are more alike than we are apart and different. Stretch. Go out of your circle. The next time you go to a simcha and somebody's standing on the side, say hello to them. Be welcoming. The next time you're in shul and somebody's there and you don't normally say hello to them, say hello. Daven for somebody out of your circle, out of yourself. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to see. This is how we bring geula. This is how we tap into the power of Elul. And I'll end by saying this. As Chodesh Elul came, my son and my daughter-in-law, who were staying with us for a little bit, went back to Eretz Yisrael, to Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh, to Jerusalem. My daughter-in-law told me that the first day back, they went to the kotel. And my little granddaughter, who's 3 years old, when she went to the kotel, and now she had understanding, she was a little bit older. So she looks around and she sees all the Nashim Tzidkanios, all the beautiful women of Klal Yisrael, with their tears pressing against the walls of the kotel, washing the crevices with their tears. This little 3-year-old girl, she also pressed her face against the kotel. And what did she say? Hashem, please, please, Hashem, please, bring Mashiach. It's not just a tefillah of a little 3-year-old girl named Rachel who is in Yerushalayim. It's all of our tefillos. Remember, Efshar lehiskayim v'lamod lefanecha. Anything and everything is possible in these days. Never give up. Kaveh el Hashem. Hope to Hashem. Chazak v'yamitz libecha. Live with strength and courage. B'kaveh el Hashem. And if you don't feel that Hashem heard you or answered you, you don't give up. Have courage. Have strength. Kaveh el Hashem. Hope again. Daven again. Knock on the door again. 100 times, 101 times. Hashem, it's me again. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu be'ezras Hashem will hear all our tefillos. A good Chodesh, good gebenched year.
Amen. Thank you, Rebbetzin. That was unbelievably incredible, as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May Hashem bless you to continue to give over your beauty and your talent and your heart and your soul. It is just so amazing and beautiful. Thank you so much.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for inviting me. And
thank you for always being so amazing. Thank you. So I want to now just quickly introduce Rebbetzin Arush, who's been waiting on the phone. So Javier is going to translate it for us. And I just want to say a few words about Rebbetzin Arush. Rebbetzin Arush, too, as you all know, is the incredible strength behind, she is the great woman behind a great man who has taught probably millions of people around the world about Emunah, coming close to Hashem. I have some of my little booklets that I read all the time from Rav Arush. They are distributed by myemunah.com. If anybody wants them, they are just unbelievable. And Rebbetzin Arush always also is so kind and wonderful to take her time always to come on and to teach us. And she waited very, very long. I don't want to make her wait any longer. So in that, Rebbetzin, toda, slicha, slicha, slicha. Mochel, mochel, mochel. Ken, okay, as she's going to start speaking about Elul. Javier, are you there? Javier? Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'm going off. Okay, Rebbetzin, Javier.
Okay. Javier?
כן, אני פה.
טוב, ראשית כל אני מודה לארגון שלכם, לנעמי, שזוכה באמת לאסוף כמה נשים, ולחזק אותם כל חודש בחודשו, וכל שבוע, ובמיוחד עכשיו בערב ראש חודש אלול. אני ממש מודה לה, שהיא עושה חיזוק עולמי, זה נותן הרבה כוח, והרבה הבנה, והרבה הכנה לראש השנה.
So first the Rebbetzin want to start off thanking Nomi for organizing this incredible nishmat every month, every week, every day really, for us to prepare, especially now, starting off Elul, to get ready to approach Rosh Hashanah.
זה לא מובן מאליו, בזכות נשים צדקניות נגאלו, בזכות נשים נגאל. הכוח של הנשים הוא כוח מאוד מאוד גדול, וכדאי לחזק אותה. כי כשהשם אמר למשה, כה תאמר לבית יעקב, ותגד לבני ישראל, בית יעקב זה הנשים. קודם כל הוא אמר לנשים, שאנשים יחזקו את האנשים.
So it's totally not, hold on one second. Sorry. Slicha. So it's totally not Muvan Me'alav. It's not something that we could just take for granted. We have to realize that in the merit of women, of holy women, we were redeemed. And Bezrat Hashem, in the merit of holy women, we're going to be redeemed. We have a job. We have a special koach. We have a special strength as women that we want to strengthen this point inside of us. It's not, Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Ko tomar lebeit Yaakov v'tagid lebnei Israel. First say it to Bnei Yaakov. First bring the women together, and then bring the men together. Women, as women, we have a very, very special power to bring the redemption.
כשהאישה חזקה, הכל חזק, ואנחנו נמצאים עכשיו בחודש האחרון של השנה, שהוא למעשה מתנה. השם נתן לנו מתנה ביום ראש חודש אלול, עלה משה רבינו לשמיים, ו40 יום עמד משה רבינו והתפלל, וביקש סליחה משה רבינו, רק ביום הכיפורים השם יתברך אמר לו, סלחתי כדברך. מכאן, הימים האלה, ימי רחמים ורצון, לעשות שינוי ותשובה, שמשה רבינו נתן לנו דרך איך אנחנו עושים את העניין הזה של התשובה, ורק ביום הכיפורים השם אמר למשה, סלחתי כדברך, 40 יום של בקשת רחמים.
So, as women, we have a very, very special power, and especially in this last month of the year, we have a gift. This Chodesh Elul is a gift from Hashem. From now until Rosh Hashanah, until Yom Kippur, we have a very, very special gift. Moshe Rabbeinu on Rosh Chodesh Elul went up to Har Sinai, and he created this special energetic time of Teshuva, this special energetic time of Slicha. Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Har Sinai and prayed for 40 days and 40 nights for Am Yisrael. And only on Yom Kippur, Hashem said, Salachti Kivarecha. Only on Yom Kippur, Hashem said, I forgive you. So this special time that we have now are these days of that special energy of mercy and of our building, our ratzon for our tshuva in this time that bizchut, in the merit of Moshe Rabbeinu, that he started this for us. And only on the 40th day, Hashem said,
הראשי תיבות של אלול, אלול זה א', למד, ו', למד, אני לדודי ודודי לי. מי זה אני לדודי? אני זה אני, אני לדודי, מי זה דודי? דודי זה הקדוש ברוך הוא. הקדוש ברוך הוא מתייחס אלינו בחודש הזה ברחמים ובסליחה כמו דוד, לא כמו מלך קשה. אמנם כתוב שהמלך בשדה, לכו לשדה, לכו תחפשו את הקדוש ברוך הוא, דרשו את השם בהימצאו, הוא קרוב. אם אתם תדרשו אותו, אז הוא קרוב, והוא מבחינת דוד, אתם צריכים לדעת, זה הזמן שהשם הוא דוד, שנה שלמה שעברה על כל אחד איך שעבר, מה שהיה לו קשה ומה שלא היה לו קשה, ומה הניסיונות שהוא עבר. עכשיו החודש הזה עושים סטופ, היום מתחילים את הסטופ, סופרים 40 יום של סטופ, של בקשת רחמים וסליחות לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא. כל אחד צריך לעשות חשבון הנפש, איפה הוא נמצא.
The month of Elul has the Rosh Tevot, Aleph Lamed Vav Lamed, which is Ani LeDodi, V'Dodi Li. I am for my beloved, my dod, my uncle, and my dod, my uncle, my beloved is for me. So Ani is I, the Rebbetzin said, and Dodi, in Elul, we refer to Hashem as this beloved uncle, this connection with Hashem that is so special in Elul, but we have to build this connection. It's a time, it's a very, very special time. We're in Elul, we're in a time when we have, where Hashem, the king, it says the Melech is Basadeh, the king is in the field, but we want to go to the field to develop that relationship, to build that relationship, to feel Hashem as our uncle, to feel Hashem as our beloved, to have this strong, strong connection. And it's a time where all year long, we've had all kinds of tests, and we've had all kinds of issues, and we have all kinds of hard things that happen to us. But now, today's the day, today's the time to say, stop. Now is the time to work on building a relationship with Hashem, to go out to the field, to say, Hashem, I want to build that relationship with you. It's a time of ratzon, it's a time of want, to go out to the field and tell Hashem that we want to build that relationship. And it's a time also of chesed nefesh. It's a time of, taking account of what we went through during the year. We have to take responsibility for what went on during the year. We have to take accounting and figure out where we have to fix ourselves, how we have to fix ourselves. But we do it in these 40 days in a loving way, a loving relationship with our dod. Ani ודודי ודודי לי.
העניין הזה זה כמו משל שהיו כמה אנשים בבית סוהר, והם רצו לברוח מהבית סוהר. מה הם עשו? הם חפרו מנהרה, והתחילו לברוח. רק אחד לא ברח. אמר לו, אני לא בורח. אמרו לו, טיפש, יש לך הזדמנות לברוח. זה הזמן שלך לברוח, מה אתה יושב? אותו דבר אנחנו. הקדוש ברוך הוא נתן לנו הזדמנות לעשות שינוי ותשובה בחודש אלול ברחמים. פיתחו לי פתחו של מחט ואני אפתח לכם כפתח של אולם. אז מה, אתה לא בורח? אתה לא הולך? אתה לא עושה תשובה? מה אתה רוצה? יש לך זמן להתעורר מהשינה חודש שלם. לכן עושים סליחות חודש שלם. הם מבקשים מהשם רחמים. אבל השם יתברך, המידה שלו בחודש הזה, מידת רחמים וסליחה וימי רצון. נשפך רצון בעולם לעשות תשובה. כולם מפחדים מאלול.
So the Rebbetzin brought in an example. She said, like, for example, if you have a prison and they built a tunnel, the prison mates built a tunnel, and they all have a one-time opportunity to escape throughout the tunnel. And everybody's getting ready to escape throughout the tunnel. And there's one guy, he's sitting there, he's sitting back, he's not escaping, he's just sitting, relaxing. And everybody said, what are you, stupid? Why are you just sitting here? We can get out, we can be free. He says, no, it's fine, I'll just sit here, I'll just relax. No, now's the time where we have this special light, we have this special energy, this time of Teshuva, this time of Hashem in his loving, loving, loving way, bringing us to forgiveness. And we have to take advantage of this time. We don't want to be like that prison mate who's just saying, oh no, maybe another time. Now's the time. It's a very, very special time. It's the month of Hashem, of forgiveness. All we have to do, and we have to do it, is say, Hashem, I'm sorry. We have slichot. Hashem gives us the tools to bring down this incredible bounty of forgiveness from Hashem. But our job now is to do tshuva. We have to do tshuva. We have slichot for the month of Elul or for a week if you're Ashkenazi. But the idea is that we have to say sorry to Hashem, and then this shefa, this abundance of forgiveness comes down during this month of Elul until Yom Kippur.
אנחנו יושבים עם הקדוש ברוך הוא ואומרים לו, ריבונו של עולם, אין לנו לאיפה לברוח. אנא אלך מרוחך, ואנא מפניך אברח. איפה יש לי לברוח? עם הבלגן שעשיתי שנה שלמה, שלא התפללתי כמו שצריך, או שלא הלכתי כמו צניעות, או שלא מחלתי, או שעשיתי, כל אחד יודע מה הוא עשה, איזה בלגן הוא עשה, בעולם שהוא רק אורח. אתה אורח פה, אתה לא יכול לעשות פה בלגן. זה לא העולם שלך, זה העולם של הקדוש ברוך הוא. אתה צריך להתנהג כמו שהשם רוצה. זה הזמן לבקש סליחה. איפה יש לי לברוח, בורא עולם? איך אני יכול לברוח ממך? יונה הנביא, למה קוראים פרשת יונה ביום הכיפורים? להגיד, יונה רצה לברוח, הוא לא יכל לברוח. הוא לא היה לו איך לברוח. אין מאיפה לברוח. אז אני אומרת לשם, אין לי לאיפה לברוח. אתה אבא שלי. אני מבקשת ממך שתיתן לי את הכוח ואת הסייעתא דשמיא לעשות שינוי. תעזור לי להיות בן אדם אחר. תעזור לי להיות בן אדם טוב. תעזור לי להיות בן אדם ירא שמיים. תעזור לי ללמוד להתפלל. תעזור לי ללמוד לשלוח. תעזור לי ללמוד לוותר. אביה?
כן, אני פה. תתרשים, אבל אני פה.
תסבירי להם.
Okay, So I just want to say, I missed something out before that the Rebbetzin said that all Hashem is asking us for is, it says, Pitchuli pitchot shel machat, Hashem yiftach pitchot shel ulam. Hashem, all we have to do is open like the tiny, tiny eye of a needle, and Hashem will open us the world. But we have to try. We have to open up that little eye of the needle. We have to go forward. We have to do our ishtadlut, do our trying. And in this time, we have to say to Hashem, and realize, Hashem, there's nowhere that I can escape. I can't escape anywhere. I have to take accounting what I did this year. Were there times where I didn't daven properly, or I maybe didn't dress properly, or I didn't have kavana, or I didn't give forgiveness to somebody who I was supposed to give forgiveness to? Really take accounting and say, Hashem, I'm sorry. Hashem, you're my loving Father. Hashem, you're my loving Father, and I'm sorry. And take advantage of this time where we feel like Hashem is our loving Father, and we can feel it even more now than ever, and do tshuva, and say sorry, and say, Hashem, there's nowhere that I can escape. Why do we learn Sefer Yonah? Why do we read Sefer Yonah on Yom Kippur? To remind us that there's nowhere to escape. Yonah tried to escape, he tried to escape, he tried to escape. There's nowhere to escape. We need to take this time and say, Hashem, I only have you. There's only you. Please, Hashem, help me do Teshuva. Help me feel your love. Help me take advantage of this time. I want to have your Shamayim. I want to have fear from Hashem. I want to have proper intent in my tefillah. I want to be able to forgive people that I need to forgive. Hashem, please forgive me.
רבי יוחנן בן זכאי, לפני שהוא נפטר, הוא התחיל לבכות. אמרו לו, רבי יוחנן, אתה כזה גדול, תנא כזה גדול, אתה בוכה, אתה כולך מלא מעשים טובים. הוא אמר להם, אני עכשיו הולך ליום הדין, זה לא ליום דין של מלך בשר ודם, זה יום דין של מלוא כל הארץ כבודו, אין לי לאיפה לברוח, אין לי מה לעשות. זה הנקודה שצריכה להיות אצלנו, להבין שאנחנו צריכים לבקש מהשם את הכוח. הפתח של המחט שאנחנו מבקשים זה לבקש מהשם, כי לנו לעשות שינוי, כתוב מודה, התשובה זה מודה ועוזב ירוחם. אם בן אדם בא לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא ומודה, אומר אני כך וכך עשיתי, אני יודע שלא הייתי בסדר, הוא לא מחשב פשעיו, לא יצליח, לא יכול להגיד לא, הכל היה בסדר, לא נכון, תשב ותעשה עם עצמך חשבון נפש, ותודה, ואתה תעזוב את זה, אז ירחמו עליך מהשמיים. זה כל עניין התשובה, מודה ועוזב ירוחם, כאשר בן אדם הוא מודה, ועוזב, הוא מרוחם מן השמיים. זה לבוא לקדוש ברוך הוא, להגיד לו, סליחה השם, עשיתי כך וכך, אין לי כוח, תעזור לי, בבקשה תעזור לי עם הילדים, תעזור לי עם הבעל שאני לא יענה לו, תעזור לי עם האנשים שיעשו את העבודה שלהם, תעזור לי בורא עולם, ואז השם עוזר לך, כי לך הכוח אתה יכול לקבל רק ממנו, והוא רק יכול לתת לך את הסליחה. משל למה הדבר דומה? לאחד רופא, שאמר לו מנהל המחלקה, תשמע, אני יוצא לחופש, אתה תהיה אחראי על המחלקה, אבל אני אומר לך, שאם מישהו ימות, אוי ובוי לך, אתה תענש בעונש קשה בתורנות שלך, אתה צריך ללכת מאחד לאחד, ולטפל באחד ואחד. הוא באמת יצא לחופש, והרופא הלך מאחד לאחד, אחד הביא לו אקמול, אחד הביא לו אנטיביוטיקה, כל אחד נתן, וכל הלילה הוא עבד, ובבוקר נפטר חולה אחד. למחרת בא מנהל המחלקה ואמר לו, אתה לא עשית בסדר, הוא אמר לו, אבל אני עבדתי, הוא אמר לו, יפה, עבדת, אבל דבר אחד לא עשית, למה לא קראת לי לעזרה? למה לא ביקשת עזרה שיעזרו לך? אתה לא יכול לבד. כך הקדוש ברוך הוא אומר לנו, בסדר, נתתי לכם תורה ומצוות, אתם משתדלים, אבל קשה לכם, תבקשו ממני עזרה, אני אעזור לכם. תסבירי להם, אביה.
אוקיי, טוב, מקווה שאני אצליח. So, basically, the Rebbetzin started off saying that it's a huge, huge day. It's a huge, huge time. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, the holy Tana, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, before he passed away, he was crying and crying and crying. And his Talmid and his student said to him, Rabbi, why are you crying? You're such a holy man. Your whole life was dedicated to Torah. Your whole life was dedicated to doing the positive commandments. And he said, because I'm about to go be judged by Melech Machem Lachim. I'm about to go be judged by Hashem, not a judge, not a regular king, not a king that's a human. I'm going to be in front of Melech Machem Lachim. And he was trembling. We're getting towards Rosh Hashanah. We're going to be judged by Melech Machem Lachim, by the King of Kings. And we have to pay attention. And what we have to do is, in order to make the change and in order to become a better person, is we have to go back to that opening of the little needle. What we have to do is ask Hashem for help. Because if we think that we can change and we can do Teshuva and we can do better and we can run our lives and we can run our family and we can be, then it's a whole I. What we have to do now is realize that we're not anything without Hashem. We're asking Hashem to help us. We're saying, Hashem, I know that you run the world, but I need your help. I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better mother. I want to be able to respect my husband properly. Whatever I do, my occupation, I want to be able to do it properly. Please, Hashem, help me. It's the awareness that we're not running the show, that Hashem is running the show. And that's something extra that we have to work on. We can't do anything without Hashem. And now we have the opportunity to strengthen that awareness that Hashem is giving us everything, including the ability to do Teshuva, that also we need to ask Hashem's help. And the Rebbetzin gave an example of a doctor who left his floor to an intern. And he said to the intern, he said, listen, I'm going away. I trust you. You can do everything on the floor. You're writing the word. I trust you. You're an amazing doctor. Everything will be fine. But if you have any problems, call me. So the intern started treating patients, and one more patient came in, one more patient came in, and he was running from patient to patient, asking how they were doing. He was giving them medicine, he was giving them treatment, and went from patient to patient. And in the end, he lost a patient. And in the morning, the doctor said to him, how could you lose a patient? He said, doctor, I did everything I could. Another patient came in, I helped him. Another patient came in, I helped him. And I gave him this medicine, I sent him to surgery, and I did this. And the doctor said, but you didn't call me for help. If you would call me for help, I would have sent backup. And that's what we have to do now in this Elul. We're swamped. We're overwhelmed. We have so much stuff going on. Hashem is saying, just call me. Just ask me for help. That's what I'm in. That's what I'm here for.
זה העניין, הנקודה היא לבוא לקדוש ברוך הוא ולהגיד לו, אין לי לאיפה לברוח, אני באתי אליך, אתה אבא שלי, אתה תעזור לי לעשות את השינוי, זה הנקודה. אין כוחי ועוצם ידי, אני יכולה לא לדבר לשון הרע, אני יכולה לוותר, את רואה שמחר את נופלת, את רואה שלמחר את כועסת, את רואה שמחר את כועסת, את רואה שמחר את לא מוותרת, את רואה שאת, אין, צריך, השערים הכי גדולים זה שערי סייעתא דשמיא, שבאים לקדוש ברוך הוא בהכנעה ואומרים לו, אני צריך עזרה, אתה אבא שלי, אתה צריך לעזור לי, זה הפתחו לי פתח. תפתחי את הפתח של תפילה, תגידי לו, השם, אני לא יכולה, תעזור לי. בעולם שלנו נורא קל כבר, זה לא עולם קשה, שבת לשמור זה נורא קל, הכל נהיה קל, יש חד פעמי, יש מי חם של שבת, יש פלטה של שבת, יש חשמל שנדלק ונכבה לבד, הכל נהיה נורא קל, המצוות נהיו קלות, אבל השורש, העקב, השמחה של המצוות, הרצון נלקח מאיתנו. כשיש לך רצון בדרך שאדם רוצה ללך, מוליכים אותו. אם את רוצה להבין שלא לדבר לשון הרע, של לוותר ולסלוח, והכוח יכול לתת לך את זה הבורא, תבקשי ממנו, את תראי שתצליחי ללכת בדרך. וזה חודש שמסוגל, דרשו השם, בהימצאו קרוב אלייך.
Okay. So this is a time where we really have to strengthen ourselves and realize there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide. It's only you, Hashem. Hashem, you're my father. Hashem, I want to connect to you. Hashem, please help me. Without you, I can't do anything. The worst thing is to fall into a point where I think I can change, I can do tshuva. From today, I'm never going to be angry again. From today, I'm going to daven three tefillos a day. From today, I'm going to do this. And even if it's mitzvot, if it's the I, then we're taking Hashem out of the picture. So if we want to have a true change, a true shinui, getting ready, like in Hebrew, shinui is like a change, getting ready for the Rosh Hashanah, for the new year. If we want to have a real change, then we have to ask Hashem for help. We have to say, Hashem, can't do it without you. I really, really need your help. Hashem, please help me. I need you to help me. I need you to help me daven better. I need you to help me have more intention in my tefillah. I really want to, but I need your help. The Rebbetzin said, technically, things are very simple now. It's so much easier to keep Shabbos than it used to be. We have a very, very easy, inexpensive way to heat up our food. We have an inexpensive way to have hot water for Shabbos. We have everything. Keeping Shabbos technically is much, much easier. The whole world keeping mitzvot, it's much, much easier. There's kosher food everywhere in the world practically. It's so much easier to keep the mitzvot. But the problem is that we feel so weighed down that there's something pulling us down, it's the ekev that's pulling us downwards, and we're lacking the simcha and the wanting, the simcha and the ratzon, the simcha and the will, the happiness and the will. That's what's lacking. And in order to get that back, we have to ask Hashem. We have to say, Hashem, I want you to help me with this. Hashem, this is the time. I want you to help me with this. I want to get better. I want to take advantage of Chodesh Elul. I want to take advantage of this month of Elul. I can't do anything, Hashem, without you. If I think I'm doing it myself, then in 2 seconds, I'm going to fall. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to scream at this person and lose my patience with this person, because if I think if I'm doing it myself, then I'm not going to have the tools to do it. I need to do it with Hashem. And now it's a time when we have the special energy to connect to Hashem.
אלול זה הכנה לכל השנה. זה כמו שבקיץ חורטים עצים ואוספים אותם ושמים אותם במחסן, שאחר כך לכל החורף יהיה לנו עצים לחימום. ככה זה אלול. באלול מכינים הרבה, שיהיה לנו לכל השנה. הרבה תפילות, עוד הרבה תהילים, אבל אין לי כוח. אנשים אומרים, יש לי ילדים, אני עובדת, אין לי זמן, מה את רוצה ממני? את יודעת מה אני רוצה ממך? שתשבי 10 דקות, ותגידי לשם יתברך את מה את רוצה בדברים רוחניים. ואז תראי שהרצון תרצי בדרך שתרצי ללכת, יוליכו אותך. אפילו, אבל את צריכה, דבר ראשון, להגיד להשם את הדברים שאת רוצה, הרוחניים, להגיע אליהם. ואם תגידי לו, הוא ישים אותך שמה. וזה מה שאני מבקשת ממך לעשות. לא ביקשתי ממך, יהיה לך הרבה, את תגידי לי, אני עסוקה, אני עובדת, אני לא יכולה, יש לי ילדים קטנים, אני עסוקה בכל הדברים. נכון, את עסוקה מאוד בעולם הזה, אבל אם תרצי 10 דקות לבקש מהשם, הוא יוליך אותך בזה. וזה מה שאני אגיד לכם, זה המסר שלי לאלול. שבי עם עצמך 10 דקות, תכתבי את הדברים הרוחניים שאת רוצה, תגידי לשם, אני רוצה ככה, אני רוצה להתפלל, אין לי זמן, תעזור לי להתפלל, אני רוצה להיות אמא טובה, תעזור לי, אני רוצה לוותר, תעזור לי, אני רוצה, תדברי איתו, תגידי לו את זה, הוא ישמע אותך והוא יפתח לך את העולם, פתח כמו של מחט, וזה הזמן להכין להשם יתברך הרבה רצונות, הרבה הרצונות. אני הרבה פעמים רציתי להתפלל, אבל הייתי עייפה ונרדמתי על הכרית, והשם אחרי 10 דקות העיר אותי, והיה לי כוח ועמדתי ואמרתי את כל הספר, כי רציתי, אבל הייתי עייפה ונרדמתי, אבל השם העיר אותי אחרי 10 דקות, עם הרבה כוח, ואמרתי את כל הספר תהילים. בעזרת השם, שיהיה לכם שנה טובה, כתיבה וחתימה טובה, בשורות טובות, שנת גאולה וישועה, שנה שתעלו כולכם לארץ ישראל, תקע בשופר גדול לחירותנו, ונזכה כולנו לגאולה שלמה, באמת, ונרצה את הגאולה. אמן.
So, Elul is the preparation for the whole year. It's like somebody who has a fireplace. In the summer, when the trees are dry, all the trees that you cut down, that's what you're going to have during the year to light that fire, to light that chiyut, to light that liveliness that you have over the whole year. Every single thing we do in Chodesh Elul is going to prepare us for the rest of the year. Every extra tefillah, every extra prayer, every extra word of tefillim that we sing every extra few minutes that we take upon ourselves to speak to Hashem, all of that is going to help us in the rest of the year. It's going to heat up that wood. It's going to heat up that fire that we're going to have B'ezrat Hashem for the rest of the year. But it happens that during Chodesh Elul, in the month of Elul, a lot of times we feel like we're overwhelmed, we're tired, we feel like we don't have energy, we don't have strength, we don't have time. The Rebbetzin is saying, just add those 10 minutes, add those extra few parak of Tehillim, those extra chapters of Tehillim, and say to Hashem, I want to better myself spiritually. I want to get better spiritually. Now's the time to ask Hashem for our spiritual growth. When we ask Hashem for our spiritual growth, then everything else will fall into place. All we have to do is open that little eye of the needle. As you look for Hashem, you're going to find him, but you have to look and you have to ask for it. And people complain to the Rebbetzin, they say, I have little kids, I'm busy, I have so much stuff, I'm working, I don't have time for anything. And the Rebbetzin says, you have to pray for it, pray for it. Pray that you're a good mother. Pray that you have the time to pray, pray that you have the time to pray. A lot of times, people say that they just don't have cough, they don't have energy, they're so tired. The Rebbetzin says, she also, what's happened to her, where she wanted to say the whole book of Tehillim, and she was wiped out and she fell asleep. But after 10 minutes, she woke up with tons of energy and she was able to say that book of Tehillim. Because if you have the ratzon, if you have the want, and you have the drive, then Hashem helps you to get there. Hashem will help us now to get there. Very, very special energy in this time of Elul to help us get to Rosh Hashanah, to help us get to Yom Kippur, where Hashem says, Salachti ki barecha, I forgive you. And at the end, the Rebbetzin blessed us. We should have a sweet year. We should have a year of redemption, a year that B'ezrat Hashem all on Israel. It's a mirror to come to Eretz Israel, and that we should have a beautiful, sweet year, and that we should develop that ratzon, develop that want to take advantage of this month of Elul.
תודה רבה, אביה, את מתרגמת מצוין, ממש כיף איך שאת מתרגמת, תודה רבה לכם, כיף להיות איתכם ביחד בחבורה שלכם, כיף, תודה רבה לנעמי שהיא אוספת הרבה אנשים, לשמוע את הרעיונות האלה ולהתחזק, והשם יחזק אותנו וייתן לנו את הכוח ואת האמונה, אמין, ולעשות את כל העצות הנפלאות, תודה רבה. אם יש לכם שאלות, אני מוכנה עוד לשמוע.
The Rebbetzin said thank you to Nomi, thank you for everyone who's coming together to study.
And thank you to Ahavia, she said, for translating in the most perfect, beautiful way with so much chen. And the Rebbetzin said that she feels so happy to be here in this place, and she just blesses everybody. So we're just going to take two questions because we went very, very long today. And I know that it's late already. So the Rebbetzin is willing to answer one or two questions, one or two quick questions, if anybody has to ask the Rebbetzin. If you can raise your hand, if anybody has a question for the Rebbetzin. No?
אוקיי, אז אם יש לכם המשך תוכנית, אז שיהיה בהצלחה בעזרת השם ושנה טובה.
I
have a question.
Yeah,
I have a question too.
I just want to mention that the question has to be quick. It has to be a very concise, quick question. No, like.
Mine is quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Mine is quick. So we're talking about doing Tehillim 27 twice a day, but women, we usually only just daven Shacharis. So when does the second one, when does the Rebbetzin?
It's after Mincha. It's during Mincha time you say it. You can just say it in the afternoon around Mincha time. Nachon Rebbetzin, היא רוצה לדעת מתי להגיד את הפעם השנייה של תהילים 27.
היא יכולה במנחה, היא יכולה עד השקיעה, כל היום.
So the whole day you can say it, the Rebbetzin said.
Right, but Nomi, we say it together once, so everyone just has to say it one more time.
Right, so that's
during
what she asked.
would be,
said, right.
But
so
if you say when she
right.
davens Shacharis, she can say it the second time, or so that's when she's done.
Yeah, also Nomi.
Yeah.
תקשיבו, אני הייתי בארצות הברית, אני רוצה להגיד לכם משהו. משהו אחד מצא חן בעיניי בארצות הברית, שמעיר לעיר צריך לנסוע הרבה שעות, ויש הרבה טראפיק. אל תבזבזו את הזמן בטראפיק. אתם יכולים לשים את הטלפון עם התהילים בזה, ולקרוא בטראפיק מלא תהילים. אתם יכולים לדבר בטראפיק עם השם הרבה. אני הייתי בקנדה, והייתי בניו יורק, והייתי במיאמי, בפלורידה, בניו ג'רסי, כמעט יש לכם הרבה זמן, מה שאין בארץ ישראל. הרבה זמן אתם נוסעים במכוניות, אתם יכולים הרבה להתפלל. הרבה להתפלל. יש לכם המון זמן. המון זמן. ארץ ישראל זה לא כמו אצלכם. אצלנו כתוב ארץ אוכלת יושביה. אם אנחנו כל הזמן עסוקים, אנחנו יותר עסוקים ממכם, ואין לנו טראפיק כמוכם. יש לכם המון זמן. את בזמן הזה לא לבזבז את הזמן. הכל יש בטלפון, תהילים. לי בטלפון יש כל התהילים, כל החפץ חיים, כל הספרים. את יכולה כל הזמן לפתוח, לעשות סימן, פה הפסקתי, אני ממשיכה. חבל לך על הזמן. את יכולה לדבר עם השם, לסגור 10 דקות את הטלפון ולהגיד לו, השם, אני רוצה להיות אמא טובה. אני רוצה להיות אישה טובה. 10 דקות לא יקרה לך כלום.
So I can translate, Avia. So the Rebbetzin said that she's been in America and Canada, and we have a lot of traffic here. And that it takes a long time to go from place to place. And women can literally on their phones say all the Tehillim while they're sitting in the cars. They can speak to Hashem, she said, and that we shouldn't literally waste 1 second now sitting in traffic, not speaking to Hashem, not saying Tehillim. She says it's a great opportunity. She says in Israel they don't have the same problem. They don't have as much traffic.
Together. I just want to finish. I have a
1 second, and she also said that. She said that in Israel, people are much busier than they are in Chutz La'aretz. And she's not putting anybody down, chas v'shalom. She's not saying anything. She's just saying that we have this opportunity and we should not let this opportunity go. We're taking one more question because I have to close up.
I have a.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Charlene, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you, Charlene. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have a question to Rabbanit. So it's a time of slichot and we have to ask forgiveness. My question is, in situations in which some people, they don't forgive you, year after year, that it's sitting there like a burden. I am willing to forgive. I want to let it go. I ask Hashem, I can't, you can. Help me forgive. I forgive. But I know that there are situations in which people don't forgive. So how do I live with that?
Okay, go ahead, Javier.
Yes, הזדמנויות שאנשים...
Okay, Javier will just translate quickly. Go ahead.
היא פשוט שאלה, היא אמרה שיש הזדמנויות שבאמת אתה עושה הכל לבקש סליחה מבן אדם והם לא סולחים, אז היא שואלת איך אפשר להתמודד עם זה.
ברגע שהיא עשתה את ההשתדלות שלה, זה נגמר. היא ביקשה סליחה. אם הוא לא סולח, צריך להגיד לו, אדוני, למה אתה לא סולח? מה אתה חושב שאני עשיתי לך שאתה לא סולח? אז אם הוא בן אדם שהוא רע והוא לא סולח, אז גם השם לא סולח לו. יש פה 2 צדדים. אין כזה דבר שאתה יכול לעשות מה שאתה רוצה בעולם. השם רואה שאני ביקשתי ממנו ואמרתי לו בוא, אבל אם זה למשל בממון, שבן אדם בא ולקח לשני כסף, הוא מחויב להחזיר לו את הכסף. הוא לא יכול. הוא לא יוותרו לו על זה, כי זה כסף שלו, אלא אם כן, הוא ביטר לו על הכסף. אבל סליחה בכבוד, צריך לבקש. אני מבקש סליחה, אני יודע שעשיתי טעות, וזה לא בעיה לבקש סליחה, שבן אדם מבקש סליחה, אז השם סולח לה, הוא אומר, הוא ביקש, אני סולח.
Javier, go ahead.
We do our ishtadlut. We do everything we can to ask forgiveness for somebody, but sometimes people just don't forgive. So as long as we've done everything we can. We ask them for forgiveness. We ask Hashem to help us ask them for forgiveness. Beyond that, we just have to let go.
Tell her what she said about the money. But if somebody,
You say I missed it.
so she just said that, but if somebody owes you money, they have to pay you back. And she said, we're not in this world for ourselves. Like if somebody asks for forgiveness and the person doesn't forgive you, she also said that there's a God in this world. So that person has their cheshbon with the Rabban Shalom. It's not simple that they're not forgiving. So she said not to worry, Charlene, that if you do your hishtadlus and you do everything you can, not to worry. It's really between Hashem and that person, and you've done everything that you can. So not to worry.
Okay.
I'm going to take one more quick question. One more question. I see LB. Somebody, LB, do you want to ask a question? Your hand is up.
Thank you so much. I would like to ask the Rabbanit her advice for all of us in this crazy times. What can we do to protect our families and feel safe? Kadosh Baruch Hu runs the world, but there's a crazy world out there. So what are her words of encouragement?
אז רבנית, הבנת? היא רצתה לדעת בזמן של העולם שלנו היום, שזה עולם משוגע, מה אנחנו יכולים לעשות שהמשפחות שלנו במצב טוב, how we can protect ourselves, איך אנחנו יכולים, how do you say protect, אביה? להגן את עצמנו ואת המשפחות שלנו. אני חושבת, right, I think to love every Jew, when you love everybody and you daven for everybody, you protect, you know.
זה מה שדיברתי בתחילת השיעור, שאם אם הבנים שמחה, אם האמא היא בונה, היא שמחה, אז הכל הולך טוב. יש לנו את הכוח להגן בתפילה על הילדים שלנו. לשנות אותם אנחנו לא יכולים. אי אפשר לשנות ילדים. זה לא דבר קל לשנות ילדים. אנחנו יכולים להשפיע עליהם מרחוק על ידי התפילה שאנחנו מתפללים. הילדים זה דבר יקר לנו מאוד. המשפחה שלנו זה דבר מאוד יקר לנו. אם אנחנו נשקיע השקעה כזאת של להתפלל על כל ילד, אנחנו נראה שינוי. אנחנו נראה דבר שינוי אצל הילדים. אני אימא של 11 ילדים, לא ילד אחד. והיה קשה לגדל אותם. מאוד קשה, כי בעלי ישב ולמד תורה. ואני הרבה רציתי שהם יצליחו בחיים. והרבה התפללתי עליהם. הרבה התפללתי עליהם. אני קראתי לכל אחד שם של צדיק. למשל, אחת ילדה חנה, הייתי מדליקה נר יום יום לחנה אימנו, ואומרת, ותתפלל חנה, שהיא תצליח. אחד שמואל, גם הייתי מתפללת לשמואל הנביא, והייתי אומרת לו, קראתי אותו על שמך, תגן על הילד הזה. הילד הזה הוא שלך, תשמור עליו. והיה לפעמים ילד חוצפן מאוד, והייתי רואה שהוא מתחצף, הייתי אומרת, אם אני אענה לו, תהיה פה מלחמה. אני לא אענה לו. הייתי הולכת ומתפללת, אומרת, שמואל הנביא, תשנה לו את השכל, תעשה אותו ילד טוב. אחר כך היה בא אומר, אמא סליחה שלא התנהגתי טוב. לא היה, אי אפשר לריב איתם. הם קשים הילדים האלה. הם עושים שטויות. צריך להתפלל עליהם הרבה מאוד מאוד מאוד. לבקש רחמים עליהם. וכשמבקשים עליהם, רואים ישועות. רואים ישועות, אין כזה דבר אחר. אין כזה דבר. אנחנו ממש, אני אומרת, שום תפילה לא הולכת לאיבוד. זה כמו ההכנה של החורף, מהקיץ לחורף, כמו שסיפרתי לכם את המשל. בסוף זה מסתדר. תשאלו את נעמי כמה התפללה על הילדים שלה שהתחתנו. אני מכירה את נעמי. כל הזמן הייתה אומרת, תתפללי על הבת שלי שתתחתן, ברוך השם, עכשיו התחתנו כולם. נעמי, כולם התחתנו.
היא הולכת להתחתן, ברוך השם.
ברוך השם, אז זה גם ניסים, את יודעת, אני זוכרת כמה התפללת, כמה ביקשת תפילות. נכון? נעמי?
נכון.
כמה פעמים באת לארץ ישראל לכותל, וביקשת, והתפללת, ולרחל אימנו, פגשתי אותך בהרבה מקומות של תפילה.
כן, נכון, כל יום לרחל אימנו, כן.
כל יום, אז תספרי את זה לחברות שלך, תגידי להם מה עושים.
Havia, amen. Havia, go ahead.
So basically the Rebbetzin said, if you want to, I'll try to shorten it. If you want to have watch over your children, your family in these turbulent times. You have to pray and pray and pray and pray and pray, and more tehillim and more tefillot, and believe in your prayers. And the Rebbetzin gave us an example of herself, that Baruch Hashem, she has 11 children, and some of them were boys who were a little bit, and she just prayed, and she has this, and all her children are named after tzaddikim. And she went, and her husband was learning, and she was praying for her kids. And she said, even if the kids chutzpahdik, she just went and prayed, and she had a son named Shmuel, and she went to Devin at Shmuel and Avi and said, Shmuel, please, 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 I named my son after you. Please, please, please watch over this boy named after you. And she has a daughter named Chana, and she went to Chana, and she said to Chana, please, 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 pray for, be a memleitz, come on behalf of my daughter Chana, please pray for her. And she prayed and she said, Baruch Hashem. And she used Nomi's example also. And she said, Nomi, Baruch Hashem, Nomi also has children. And Nomi prayed very, 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 very hard, Baruch Hashem, for her daughter, who Baruch Hashem got engaged, Mazel Tov, recently. And that if you want like a recipe for shmira in these turbulent times, there's one word, and it's prayer. In fact, I just want to add one thing to the Rebbetzin, that Rachmana Libabai, Hashem wants our heart. So he wants our prayers. He wants that connection. He wants us. If Hashem wants something in this olam, in this world, he wants our prayers. That's what he's yearning for. It's for our prayers. And the more we believe in our prayers, the more Bezat Hashem we're going to see Bezat Hashem Smira.
Tada.
I want to thank the Rebbetzin so much. I'm sorry to cut it. It's quite amazing. I don't know if you heard that. It's so amazing when you think about it, because we're all so busy with everything all the time. The Rebbetzin has 11 children, Knei Nahor, Admer V'Esrim. Everyone should be healthy with nachis and only good things. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. But she said to me, it was so amazing to me, because it was an aha moment for me. She said that one of her children is named Chana, and she lights a candle every single day for that daughter. And she prays to Chana on that daughter. So just think how much time she puts into davening for each one of her children that she named after a tzaddik, while she said that her husband was sitting and learning Torah. It's just amazing. Like it's really like, you think about it, like we have children, what we have to put into making sure that our children are successful, and the amount of davening that we have to do. And then we have grandchildren. Think about it, Knei Nahor, and then we have to daven for our grandchildren. So Bezrat Hashem, I just want to say thank you. Thank you. This was such an incredible, thank you, Rebbetzin. Thank you for giving up. Thank you, Rebbetzin. Thank you so much. Amen.
Before you go, can I ask a question, please? Can I please ask a question?
A really, really quick one, because I really
just about
have
the
to close up.
The Tehillim, I missed the beginning, so I just wanted to know about the Tehillim 27. Is that we're saying it every day of Elul, or just today twice?
No, you say it every single day for 40 days now. You can say it Shachris when you say Shachris. You can say it even if you don't say Shachris, right? And then the Rebbetzin said you can say it all the way up to Shkia, all the way up until the end of the day, until it gets, until Shkia, which is in every place is a different time.
Thank you. And once a day, you're saying once a day for
twice
40
a day.
days.
Say it twice a day. It's a very big shkula. Twice a day. Yeah, you can say it in the morning, and then you can just say it again. We're going to say it every morning on this group. So if you come in the